I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get to the no-half-step in hockey coverage, let me first direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show, and once you're good and educated about what we do here, click on that merchandise tab there. You're going to find your classic logo t-shirt or Pride logo t-shirt, all of the special event t-shirts, and all of the gimmicks you've come to know and love from the Renegades of Puck. Don't worry, the socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, all of that stuff is sticking around for 2023. It's easier said this way. We've sold out so that you can buy in. We're sure to appreciate everyone who's picked up some Renegades of Puck merchandise. You can help us out on social media, and it's of critical importance to this independent hockey operation. Please, you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. Follow us on any or all of those platforms. You can also find our Renegades of Puck TV on YouTube. You can find our live streaming behind the scenes on Twitch, and you can find our audio podcast on numerous platforms. Just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform, and you'll go ahead and get easy access to the show right there. Thanks to the Full Press Predators podcast, we've been able to add over 1 million downloads last year, and we are quickly approaching that number already in the year 2023. So stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you out there who is supporting the show. We sure do appreciate that. Venmo, that's how you can support the show financially. If you'd like to become a sponsor, or if you'd like to just make a donation, thanks to generous renegades like you right there watching and listening, we have been able to upgrade significantly the sound, the look, everything about the Renegades of Puck podcast. After last season, we had a lot of work to do and a lot of upgrades to make, and you helped us achieve each and every one of those. Can't wait to find out how we can make significant advances and improvements. We have a lot of ambitions here in the trenches. Now, listen, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. Time for operation number 712. That's right. Show number 712 for the Renegades. Puck, at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. 49 games skated. First game back from the All-Star break. Record of 24-19-6. 54 points, has them 4 points behind the 4th place Colorado Avalanche and also the 3rd place Minnesota Wild. But the Preds are 11 points behind 2nd place Winnipeg and 14 points behind the Dallas Stars. The Preds on the road have a record of 10-11-3. They've scored 138 goals in the season. They've given up 146 against. That means they have a goal differential of -8. Now, the Nashville Predators' next game will take place on the road in Philadelphia after this one-game road trip back home to take on Arizona on Monday night, and then the Boston Bruins on Thursday night. The 18th of February will see the Nashville Predators welcome in the Florida Panthers, and then immediately turn around on the 19th, going into Minnesota to take on the Wild. The 21st of February is when the Nashville Predators will welcome in the Vancouver Canucks. Now, the Flyers are the next opponent for the Nashville Predators in this one-game road trip. They've played one time before the season, so this will be the conclusion of the 2-game season series between these two teams. It was back on October the 22nd when Philadelphia scored a 3-1 victory at Bridgestone Arena. Farabee, a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Hart picked up the victory going 31-32. UC Saros took the loss 22 out of 25. Now, the Flyers overall, 21-22-9, 51 points, has them 7th in the Metropolitan Division on home ice. A record of 10-13-2 and a goal differential on the season of -21. Taking a look at the most recent sample size of 5 games for the Philadelphia Flyers, we go back to January the 22nd, a 5-3 loss versus the Winnipeg Jets. They followed that on January the 24th with a 4-3 overtime loss versus the LA Kings. On the 26th, a 3-2 overtime loss at Minnesota. On the 28th, a 4-0 win at Winnipeg, and then they went into the All-Star break. Most recent game on the 6th of February, a 2-1 loss at the New York Islanders. And Thursday, they will play against the Edmonton Oilers before facing off against the Nashville Predators on Saturday. For the Nashville Predators, 2 injuries to report. Carrier getting better, but still expected to be out at least 2 more weeks. Mark Borowiecki still on injured reserve, no timetable for his return. Taking a look inside the numbers and the matchup between the Nashville Predators and the Philadelphia Flyers, a lot of similarities between these two teams. This is a fairly even matchup. Goals for 2.78 on the season for the Nashville Predators, 26th overall, while the Philadelphia Flyers are generating 2.75 goals per game. That is 27th in the NHL. In the goals against category, the Preds are giving up 2.96 per game. That's 13th best in the NHL, while 3.13 is the number of goals given up by the Flyers. That's 18th overall in the league. Shots for the Predators are 19th in the NHL, generating 31.1 shots per game on the net, while the Philadelphia Flyers are generating 30 even on net. That's 24th. The Flyers are giving up 31.7 shots against. That's 18th in the NHL, and the Predators are giving up a huge number, 34.4. That has them almost at the bottom of the league in 29th overall position. When it comes to special teams, not a lot of pretty numbers to look at right here. The Nashville Predators power plays rated 27th in the NHL, 16.5% conversion rate, or 26 of 158 opportunities. Now, the Philadelphia Flyers are actually a little bit worse in this statistical metric. They're 30th overall in the league. They have scored 25 power play goals on 158 opportunities, or 15.8%. When it comes to the penalty kill, both teams a little bit better, but still not a whole lot to talk about here. The Philadelphia Flyers are 18th in the NHL in penalty kill. They've given up 35 power play goals against the season, a kill rate of 77.1%. The Preds are 12th on the penalty kill. They've given up 33 power play goals against, and they have a kill rate of 80.7%. We all know every single team in the NHL has plenty of high-scoring individuals. That's why we always like to go down the top 5 in the individual statistics categories. Konecny leads the Philadelphia Flyers in points with 49. The breakdown, very even, 24 goals, 25 assists. Hayes, second on the team in scoring, 15 goals, 30 assists for 45 points. D'Angelo out on the blue line, 9 goals and 22 assists for 31 points. Lawton, 12 and 17 for 29. And Tippett, 14 and 14 for 28. Hart in net has a record of 15, 15, and 8. Fairly decent save percentage and goals against average for a goaltender that has such a bad record. 9-11 save percentage, 2.86 goals against average. For the Nashville Predators, Philip Forsberg leads the team in scoring, still 19 goals on the season. That is number 1 overall on the Predators, 23 assists for 42 points. The captain, Roman Josi, has 12 points and 30 assists. That 30 assists represents the most on the Predators for 42 points. Matt Duchene's at 15 goals and 24 assists for 39 points. Mikhail Granlund, 6 and 22 for 28. And Ryan Johansson, 11 and 14 for 25. Very little change since before the All-Star break. UC Saros' record of 19, 14, and 5, a 9.18 save percentage, at 2.78 goals against average. That has you all set up for the Nashville Predators against the Philadelphia Flyers. 1-game road trip. Preds come back home for a 3-game homestand after that. Coming out of the All-Star break, it wasn't exactly the performance anybody was hoping for or expecting, but we're still going to go back and recap everything that happened with it. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up next.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
We go all the way back to February the 7th of the year 2023 when the Nashville Predators were welcoming the Vegas Golden Knights to Bridgestone Arena. John Hines comes out of the All-Star break and blends his lines in the following way. Forsberg, Glass, and Duchene will make up your first line for this game. Niederreiter, Johansson, and Granlund. Smith, Parsonen, and Sissons. Trennan, Novak, and Genoa are on the fourth line. Your defensive pairings, McDonough and Josi, Ekholm, and Luzon, with Carrier being out of the lineup. Luzon steps up to the second pairing. Gravel and Fabro make up your third defensive pairing. UC Saros gets the start in at a choppy first couple of minutes to the game. It's 2:35 into the first period when Hill comes up with the first save of the game on Trennan. It's the first shot on goal for either team, and it was bobbled by Hill along the chest plate there. 2:49 into the first period, Saros comes up with his first save of the game, and that's going to come out on Madio. 3:19 of the first, Saros a save on Smith's heavy shot. 5:04 of the first period, Matt Duchene's 15th goal of the season comes off a one-timer from the sharp angle. The captain, Roman Josi, 7 set it up perfectly. The Predators hold a 1-0 lead just 5:04 into the first period. 5:56 into the first period, Saros comes with a save on March, so it's 6:27 though. Vegas ties it up on Amadio's 8th goal of the season. It was a wrist shot after a turnover that beat UC Saros. We're tied at 1 apiece, and before I can finish making that notation, at 6:54 of the first period, Carrier scores his 13th goal of the season, giving Vegas a 2-1 lead very quickly at Bridgestone Arena. It was the captain Romagnosi falling down in the neutral zone, leading to a breakaway for Carrier, and he beats UC Saros. And then easily at 11:58, Kessel, his 10th goal of the season. It was Romagnosi was beat trying to pinch for a puck in the neutral zone. He's beaten to it. Saros comes up with the initial save, but not enough defensive support, and the jam with numbers leads to Vegas' 3rd goal here in the first period. Vegas now leads the Nashville Predators 3-1 at Bridgestone Arena. 13:04 off the first period. Tommy Novak hits the post on a redirect. 13:32. Saros comes with the save on Carlson. 15:45. McNabb off the box. 2 minutes for tripping of the Preds are not able to generate a single shot on goal. As a matter of fact, it was incredibly sloppy after the initial possession just to start the power play. We hit the end of the first 20 minutes, and it was a sloppy return from the All-Star break for the Nashville Predators. Outshot in the first period 12-4, outscored 3-1. We're 2:58 onto a clean sheet in the second period, and Stevenson's 12th goal of the season is making it 4-1 in favor of Vegas. Saros was down and out, made for an easy finish. UC Saros protested quite a bit. He wanted it challenged. The play did not get challenged, so we move on. 5:30 of the second period, Luzon's shot trickles just wide off of a skate, but does not count as a shot on goal. Every chance the Preds have, they fail to get a shot. Either they try to make too many passes, they try to get too cute, or it happens to go off of a skate on the way in and goes just wide of the post. 8:57 in the second period. Hill does come up with a save on Yossi's backhand. It's the first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators in 22 plus minutes of this game. 13:03 of the second. Luzon's off the box. 2 minutes for interference. Eichel hits the post on a rip of a wrist shot. It's a strong PK overall, though, for the Nashville Predators. 16:46 of the second. Hill comes up with a save on Forsberg's wrist shot. 16:55. Glass off to the box. 2 minutes for holding Vegas. Solid pressure, but the Preds would find a way to survive. Saros definitely made multiple saves during one scramble sequence. We hit the end of the second period. Vegas out shooting Nashville 21-6 in this game. So the Nashville Predators with 4 shots on goal in the first period and two shots on goal in the second period. Simply not good enough. Coming out of the All-Star break, well rested on home ice against the Las Vegas Golden Knights, it's simply unacceptable to only have 6 shots on goal after 40 minutes, but it's not really going to improve. 4:55 into the third period. Saros comes with a save on Peter Angelo at 8:47. Niederreiter and Martinez off to the box, 2 minutes each, creating a 4-on-4 scenario. Hill comes up with a save on Yossi at this point. The crowd goes absolutely wild for the 7th shot on goal of the game by the Nashville Predators. So halfway through the third period, the Preds finally get their first shot of the third period. Saros also comes with a save on March or so during the 4-on-4. 12:06 of the third. Hill comes with a save on Novak with traffic. 13:36. Saros a save on March. So 16:56. Carry for Vegas off the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking as the face-off is getting set up. Saros goes to the bench, creating the 6-on-4 scenario, and Hill has to come up with a save on Niederreiter plus the rebound jam opportunity at the 19-minute mark of the third period. Peter Angelo's 6th goal of the season slides into the empty net, banked off of the glass. It allows the goaltender for Vegas to get an assist. Peter Angelo picks up the empty net goal from 200 feet away. Vegas pulls the 5-1 lead, pulls away, and that's going to do it for this game. Vegas outshoots Nashville 28-18, and I know you look and you say they went from 6 shots on goal for the entire game to 18 by the end of the third period, but frankly, it was because the Vegas Golden Knights had such control of this game with just a couple of minutes to go that it seemed like, and no, teams don't typically back off in the NHL, but it sure seemed like the Vegas Golden Knights knew that the game and the outcome was well secure. There was no shutout on the line, so they went ahead and just soft played the Nashville Predators down the stretch in the last couple of minutes. Hill has to make a couple of extra saves, and he ends up getting an assist. The Nashville Predators unable to convert and just looked bad on their home ice coming out of the All-Star break. Listen, I know sometimes you come out and you're rusty. You're rusted, not rested. But in this particular opportunity, the Nashville Predators knew what they were going to face, and they knew how good the Vegas Golden Knights were. They already played them once this season. They'd fallen to them on home ice. It doesn't matter what was going on before the All-Star break. Yes, Vegas was trending down the Preds were trending up. Take both teams off the ice for almost 10 days, put them back out there, and see what happens. The Nashville Predators never got out of first gear tonight. They got the first goal of the game, but they were unable to maintain any type of compete level with the Vegas Golden Knights the rest of the way. The Vegas Golden Knights had a number of odd man rushes against the Nashville Predators, and the Preds just couldn't get any offense going in any meaningful way at all. That's the Reaver Sports full game recap. Not the way you want to come out of the All-Star break. The Preds fall 5-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights on home ice, only generating 18 total shots on net. And I'm telling you, that's an inflated number because Vegas kind of backed off there in the last couple of minutes. We'll get some analysis from the Renegades of Puck coming up right after this.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
UC Saros was 24 out of 28 in this game, 4 goals against, 1 goal into an empty net, and he didn't have a chance tonight with the defensive zone coverage. The Nashville Predators could not find themselves in sync in their own D zone at any point in time, and when they weren't turning the puck over, they were late on coverage, and they were struggling to maintain their positioning or even get back in a reasonable amount of time after getting caught pinching in the neutral zone. So UC Saros, he's the one I'm talking about in this situation. I felt like he had virtually no chance in this game. When you make the initial save, you're supposed to have a backup. Your defense is supposed to be there to help you clear rebounds, clear bodies, whatever it is. The Nashville Predators were simply on it. UC Saros never had a chance in this game. He will take the loss, officially 24 out of 28, 4 goals against. The captain, Roman Josi, simply not his normal self. If you watch the captain, Roman Josi, on a night in and night out basis like the Renegades of Puck do, you absolutely know it's very rare that you find Roman Josi falling down in the neutral zone, which allows his man to go in free for a breakaway, or making the incorrect decision in the neutral zone to decide to pinch towards the red line, again giving up another odd man rush, or being late and frankly being out of position for his defensive zone coverage. This was simply a night where the captain, Roman Josi, was not his normal self. It's the anomaly of this season for Roman Josi. He's typically a very, very steady and reliable performer out there on the defensive side of things, and he just really did not have it tonight. And I'm just going to roll that right into the next point. The defense was just completely out of sync. They did not have it. They were just not able to maintain defensive positioning or really compete hard enough in their own defensive end. Other than when they were on the penalty kill, they did an okay job on the PK, but at 5-on-5, they were just simply bad in their own defensive end. Turnovers, too much scrambling, running around, giving up long rebounds, and not being able to clear them. The defense just simply was totally out of sync. And the offense, you can say exactly the same thing. The offense just simply didn't do anything. 7 shots on goal in 50 minutes of gameplay, and it really wasn't very meaningful. It was the backup goaltender for the Las Vegas Golden Knights in Aiden Hill, and the Nashville Predators should have taken advantage of that opportunity, getting the first goal, getting on the board. Hill didn't look like he was into the game necessarily at that point yet. He'd already given up a goal. He was bobbling a couple of shots early on, but the Nashville Predators unable to seize that momentum, unable to take advantage of this opportunity on home ice. So 7 shots on goal in 50 minutes is not going to cut it, and the offense has to figure it out. And against Philadelphia, they'll have a better opportunity. Vegas, though, that's one that the Predators just let slip away. One bright spot, and just one thing I want to comment on just to try to pull some sort of silver lining out of this. Matt Duchene comes out of the All-Star break. He looked good. He looked fresh. He looked crisp out there. That one-timer he had from a sharp angle, that was one hell of a rip right there. He scored a goal in this game, the only goal for the Nashville Predators. He also led the team in time on ice as far as forwards go, 18-18 in total time on ice. So Matt Duchene was starting to pick up his momentum going into the All-Star break, and he comes out of the All-Star break as the only Predator that has any momentum as far as at least scoring one goal. I want to hear from Sean C. Smith. We haven't had a chance to hear from Sean C. Smith since before the All-Star break, so let's get him in the trenches right here. You can check out his work at A to Z Sports. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He is the one and only Sean C. Smith.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean Smith, and we're going to talk very briefly, and I'll tell you why it'll be very briefly, about this game the Predators just played against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Now, here's what I want to say. Some things don't need to be drawn out. Some things don't need minutes and minutes and minutes of explanation when they can be summed up very simply. And we'll say this. The last time we filmed the show, what I talked about was what the Predators needed to do moving forward in order to secure themselves a playoff spot. Now, what they need to do moving forward is continue playing at a blistering pace, winning a lot of games, getting a lot of points where they could, and making some big statement wins. And the fact of the matter is there are quite a few games a little bit further down the stretch that the Predators are going to have to play against teams that have much better playoff chances than themselves. And that being said, those are also the teams they would have to play if they were to make it into the playoffs. Now let's talk about the game tonight. What does that mean? The Predators lost in a very, very, very underwhelming fashion. Not impressive at all. There's not a lot you could take away from the game other than say that they made it through all 60 minutes of it and nobody got hurt. It was rough. So here's the thing. If the Predators wanted to come out of the gate after a nearly 2-week break and make a statement, the first statement they needed to make was they can handle coming back from a 2-week break. That was not proven tonight. That's unfortunate. The second thing would be that they needed to try to get some points from the Vegas Golden Knights, which is a team that is farther ahead of them in the standings, but not up there in the number one position. They did not do that, and they did not do that in a very underwhelming fashion. So that mission also not accomplished. Now, the only other thing we can really say is that the Predators are also going to play the Philadelphia Flyers coming up here on Saturday. And that being said, that is a team that they absolutely should be able to beat. If they come out and have another uninspiring performance, or even a win that just doesn't make a statement, that doesn't make anything look better for the Predators down the road. And that may be time to start preparing for this team to miss the playoffs for the first time in a long time. Charlie, that's kind of where the season is right now, and Renegades, that's kind of what you have to look forward to in this upcoming game against the Flyers. For me, that's a must-win, and it's not a must-win like you need to get 2 points. It's a must-win like you need to assert dominance over the Philadelphia Flyers and show that you're going to be able to do that when you need to, when you have the opportunity to play against these weaker teams. When they start playing against the stronger teams again, they're going to have to assert themselves. They're going to have to show that they can run with the big dogs if they want to make the playoffs. Charlie, don't want to beat a dead horse to death. Can you beat a dead horse to death? I don't know, but you certainly saw something like that on the ice tonight. So, Charlie, I'm going to send it back over to you.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way, from startup to full-time operation. Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. When it comes to the box score and taking a look inside the numbers, well, the Nashville Predators only scored 1 goal, so we don't have a whole lot to discuss right here. But Matt Duchene was the goal scorer for the Nashville Predators. The assists come from Forsberg and Yossi. Yossi with the primary assist on that. When it comes to shots on net, of course, the Nashville Predators were incredibly limited in this game. It was Captain Yossi with 4 shots on goal. He was at least finding ways to get pucks through. When it comes to block shots, Dante Fabro led the Nashville Predators in this game with 3 overall block shots. several other players had too, including Yossi, Luzon, and McDonough. McDonough, a couple of critical breakups in this game as well. When it comes to the hits category, Cole Smith, by the way, Cole Smith getting that new one-year contract. Of course, that has led Predators fan base to debate and discuss quite vociferously yet again Cole Smith and his what he is worth to this team. But the Preds signed him for one more season. He led the team in hits in this game with 6. Time on ice, Matt Duchene, 18-18 out of the forwards was your time on ice leader. And when it comes to the defenseman, the captain, Roman Josi, 24-38. He may not have been himself, but he still led the team in total time on ice. That's a look at the box score. Saros, 24 out of 28, 4 goals against the empty net, gives up 1 as well. That's it for the box score. Not a whole lot to report from this game. Unfortunately for the Nashville Predators, a flat return to the playoff push portion of the schedule. That's it for the box score, but that's not it for the numbers. He's got the numbers you need to know, the charts you need to see. I'm sure to appreciate Brian Basson jumping in the trenches right here and filing this report from the Renegade Analytics Desk.
Going into the All-Star break, the Nashville Predators had a 3-game winning streak, and the offense seemed to be back on track. Unfortunately, after the break, Nashville looked nothing like the team they were when they went on break, getting embarrassed by the Vegas Golden Knights 5-1 after securing an early 1-0 lead in the first period on a beautiful pass from Roman Josi to Matt Duchene. Now, unfortunately, after that, the Vegas Golden Knights would score five unanswered goals, and Roman Josi was directly responsible for 2 of those, which is really uncharacteristic of how he plays and pretty much how this team plays. But let's take a look and see, because we see a lot of criticism both on the broadcast and on Twitter that this team is not prepared well and does not perform well after a long break between games. And that's going to be the topic of tonight's One Big Stat. Now, I wanted to take a look at a few things. First, I wanted to see how many days were between each game, and I wanted to see if that made a difference on the team's overall record and the performance, but I did want to look at their performance in the first period. Now, if we look at this graphic here, in the first period, Nashville is pretty much worse from 0 to 1 days of a break. So the normal schedule of either a back-to-back or 1 day between games. Nashville usually has a goals for percentage in the first period of 56%. But when there's been a 2-day or longer break, they only have a 41% chance. So they are scoring goals they're scoring goals a lot less than their opponent in the first period with the break. And you see that for pretty much every category you see here. Expected goals, shots, and shots against. Nashville performs worse offensively, or if they do break even in offense like they do in goals per game, they get much worse on defense, which they go from allowing 0.7 goals per game in the first period with one or 2 days of break. Bigger than that, though, they average 1.3 goals against. So that's almost a half a goal difference. So you can see that with the first when it comes to the first period, Nashville definitely gets slower and does not do as well. But how does that affect the outcome of the game? Well, if you look at the outcome of the game, on those 0 to 1 day breaks, so basically the normal breaks between games, they are 16, 13, and 5. Which is a 54% points percentage. On those games that they've had 2 or more days of a break between games, they are 8, 6, and 1, which is actually a 57% points percentage, 3% higher than the normal break games. So what can you conclude from this? Yeah, Nashville starts off incredibly slow. They perform worse in the first period, and unfortunately, a lot of times, like you see tonight, they're unable to dig themselves back out of the hole. Tonight, they went in with a 3-1 deficit going into the first period and completely were unable to manifest anything in the second and third. And therefore, they took the 5-1 embarrassing loss. And we're getting right up to the trade deadline. We're getting right up to that point where teams start to make decisions. And if this is what the team wanted to put on display heading into the trade deadline, well, if you ask me, they looked a lot like sellers. And this coaching staff is going to have to get something figured out with this team, because they cannot continue to have slow starts in these games, no matter how long the break is, because they have to have some offense to show for it afterwards. And Nashville does not always get that. And that's tonight's One Big Stat. Charlie?
I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier, captain of the Renegades of Puck. I'm also tired of the cold, tired of the dark, and tired of being landlocked. I'm also willing to bet that I'm not the only one who could use some sun, fun, and time in paradise with friends. That's exactly why I called our great friend Pete Weber. He told me, call Ships and Trips Travel, and now we're all going to Mexico. That's right, Renegades of Puck, July 15th to the 20th of 2023. Dreams Vallarta Resort in Puerto Vallarta is the destination to hang with Pete Weber in paradise. To join Pete and the Renegades of Puck in Puerto Vallarta, go to www.shipsandtripstravel.com. That's shipsandtripstravel.com, and just click on the ROP on vacation tab. Don't stay landlocked. Join the Renegades of Puck in paradise, July 15th to the 20th, 2023 in Puerto Vallarta. Pete Weber, the Renegades of Puck, and you. It's time to ditch those skates for flip-flops and fun in the sun. For the Nashville Predators, losing 5-1 and looking like they were barely engaged in the game is not exactly how they want to come out of the All-Star break. They went into the All-Star break red hot. They had 3 victories against 3 very good teams, and now coming out of the All-Star break, they had an opportunity to continue that momentum against another very good team. Vegas is competing for a Pacific Division title this season, and certainly well in the playoff hunt for a spot in the Western Conference. So for the Nashville Predators, it's just simply not the way you want to come out of the break. They'll have an opportunity now because it's kind of unusual. Now they have another couple of days before they play Philadelphia, Tuesday all the way to Saturday without a game for the Nashville Predators. That is a chance to get them on the ice, and I'm sure the coaching staff is going to work them very hard in practice to try to get them dialed back in mentally, physically, and spiritually. This Philadelphia game now becomes even more important because then after that you have Arizona, so you have 2 teams that are in 7th place in their divisions respectively that you have an opportunity to collect 4 points against, and you have to. You've already dropped 1 game against Philadelphia this year, and you have 3 games coming up against Arizona the remainder of the schedule. The first of those coming up Monday night at Bridgestone Arena. Boston after that is going to be an incredible difficult game. So for the Nashville Predators, it's just simply not the way you want to come out of the All-Star break. There were a lot of people very excited to see the Preds back on the ice. It was nice to have the break from it, but people were very excited. It was a nice crowd out there tonight, and they ended up going home disappointed because there wasn't a lot to cheer for. When your crowd is erupting for the 7th shot on goal 50 minutes into the game and you're down by 3 goals at that point, it's not what you want. It's not what you want your home crowd to be experiencing or going through. So for the Nashville Predators, they need to just dial it back in, take a look in the mirror and figure out what went wrong tonight, which was everything, and do the opposite of that going into the game in Philadelphia and come back to Bridgestone Arena with 2 points to take on another 7th place squad in the Arizona Coyotes. Hey, listen, News Channel 5 Plus, I know that you guys out there in the Nashville area, Middle Tennessee area, that's going to be Xfinity Channel 1174, Xfinity Channel 1174. Go ahead and set your DVR. Go ahead and watch it live. Sportsline on News Channel 5 Plus with John Burton. I will be not co-hosting. I'll be John's in-studio guest for the entire hour of the show, 8 to 9 o'clock in the Nashville area. That's going to be tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Sure would appreciate it if you guys would check that out. There may even be an opportunity for people to call in to the show. But again, News Channel 5 Plus, John Burton, Sportsline, the Renegades of Puck will be in studio, and I'll be talking about what we do here with the Renegades of Puck. I'll be talking about the Nashville Predators, of course, and I will, of course, be talking Nashville Spartans, Nashville Warriors, and the big event that they have coming up this weekend. So please check it out. Tune in, and I'll tell you all about it, and I'll get some pictures from the set and from the studio. Always appreciate John Burton. Always love going in studio at News Channel 5 Plus. Always get an opportunity to see Rory Johnson, Vic Yates, and all the great crew and the great people over there. Henry Rothenberg as well. Got to mention him. Channel 5 is a really, really good crew, and they've always been really good to me. So I always appreciate my opportunities to go and do an hour of television. It gives me an opportunity to reach the largest possible audience here in the Middle Tennessee area because they are the #1 television station in this market. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Renegades of Puck podcast. Nashville Predators come out of the All-Star break and fall flat. They've got an opportunity to regroup and get ready for this game in Philadelphia. I expect a very different performance from this entire Nashville Predators team. For Sean C. Smith, for Brian Basson, for each and every one of the Renegades of Puck, we sure to appreciate your viewership, your listenership. We sure to appreciate your time, and we appreciate each and every one of you. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.